There's a hidden secret about manifestation that has been untold by many, but Neville Goddard reveals this indirectly throughout his books, especially The Power of Awareness. But as you cover these books over and over and over again, and as you experience your level of consciousness to grow and expand, you start to realize that there is one thing that controls how well you can manifest. And this one thing was disclosed to us throughout Neville Goddard's books, but he didn't do it directly. You kind of have to read between the lines. But I'm going to break this down for you in detail in this video. That way you get a complete 100% understanding of how you can take your manifestation to the next level. So if you've been struggling with manifestation and you're not quite sure what that is, this is going to solve that issue for you. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention, firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. So in a certain state of consciousness, you read this and you think that feeling is the secret. All I have to do is just picture it in my mind. I have to affirm it. I have to feel it. And it'll come to me. But what Neville Goddard is saying here is a well-sustained attention, the muscle of your mind, developing this part of your mind where you can focus in on a feeling state and not allow anything else in your imagination. Not so much the three-dimensional world, but while you're doing your imaginal acts, while you're doing your affirmations, while you're doing your scripting, while you're feeling yourself into your wish fulfilled, that's the moment where you have to hold on to the feeling state and allow it to be impressed into the subconscious mind. And this is the secret to controlling the simulation. And this is what I've discovered after years of training my attention and coaching different people and seeing their success and see them get better and better and better at this as they develop their attention, because you affect and change and manipulate the simulation when you experience something to be true in your imagination, because it doesn't matter what you believe or whether you doubt your manifestations. None of that matters. What matters is you're experiencing a new reality of your wish fulfilled in your imagination. And in order to make that real, like what Neville Goddard talks about, is to control the visual scene in your imagination without allowing your thoughts to just go wherever they want. Like they want to go fly around like butterflies. Okay. Your mind is like a butterfly when it's not trained. But once you train it, you can stay isolated within an imaginal act, and you can make it so real that you shock time sense, the positron. Okay, and this is what Neville Goddard is referring to. You change your future best when you are in control of your thoughts while in a state akin to sleep. And this is essentially how you master the state akin to sleep. When you're in that relaxed state, but your mind is trained. Your attention is focused and you're in your wish fulfilled. You're make-believing, you're being childlike, but you're able to hold on to this feeling state because you're not allowing any other thoughts to come in. This is super real for you and you're experiencing this to be true. And then the subconscious mind is then, oh my gosh, this wish is fulfilled. You rise to a higher level of consciousness by taking your attention away from your present limitations and placing it upon that which you desire to be. Do not attempt this in daydreaming or wishful thinking, but in a positive manner. Claim yourself to be the thing desired. And this is where Neville Goddard covers this, okay? If you pay attention closely, daydreaming and wishful thinking, you're not in control of a daydream. You're allowing your mind to do whatever it wants in its current concept of self. So if you want to change your concept of self, you must direct your attention to a new concept, a new identity of yourself. Identify yourself as someone different in your imagination. Sustain that ability to hold your attention on that in your imagination. Hold on to that till it comes into fruition. And even towards the end of Neville Goddard's career, he stated that you only actually have to do this one time. Once you develop your attention to this high level of consciousness, to where you can hold on to a feeling state and a picture and a movie in your mind of yourself being someone different, and you make it so real and you experience this to be real because you have control of your attention and you feel it, the subconscious mind feels it, that you just let it go and it comes to you. Neville Goddard discloses towards the end of his career when he started to master the movements of his attention. And once you master the movements of your attention to this degree, or even close to that degree, you will find that when you're creating an imaginal picture in your mind, or you're creating an affirmation, or you're scripting, but you're creating these pictures in your mind, and you see the pictures in your mind, and you're experiencing them to be true, you don't have to try to create a belief or try to create a feeling, or you don't have to try to do anything. It's effortless with least action because you're experiencing it to be true. So your imaginal act becomes as real as something that happens in the three-dimensional reality. So if you're imagining yourself winning the lottery in your own imagination, and you're creating it to this event to be so real that it actually feels real, there is no difference between the two. Between you actually winning the lottery in the simulation, you don't have to create that feeling state, because if you go play a lottery ticket and you pick all your numbers and you're watching for the numbers to come out, and then you hit every single number, and then they verify that you are the winner of that lottery ticket, do you have to try to believe that? Do you have to try to create a feeling that you just won the lottery? No, the experience itself creates the feeling. The experience itself creates the feeling. It creates the belief. You don't have to try to do anything. It's least action. So it's the same, it's the equivalent to when you're creating that imaginal act in your mind that you just won the lottery. There is no difference between the two. And when you create it that real, you don't have to try to believe it. You don't have to force a belief or force a feeling state. So whenever you're doing this, even with affirmations or scripting or visualizing, whatever technique that you're using, 369, the knot exercise, you don't have to force a feeling. You don't have to force a belief. The affirmation itself is creating that for you. The pictures in your mind are creating the feelings. So you don't think about the feeling that you're creating. You just focus on the image that is being created in your mind, in your imagination, because imagination is God. And that's what's creating and projecting onto the screen of space. And when you try to force a feeling, you're forcing it, then you're telling the subconscious mind that you don't really have it, because why are you forcing something? It kind of shows that it's proving that it didn't happen. You're kind of demonstrating that has not happened to you because you're trying to force it. So then you're thinking of it instead of from it. And when you're able to master the movements of your attention, that's when you don't have to create feelings and you don't have to create beliefs, because you're focusing on the experience itself. And the experience itself creates all of those things, because there's no difference between what you're imagining and the simulation itself. There is no difference between the two. You feel it to be done. You feel it to be finished. It is true. It's done. So if you are dissatisfied with your present situation, the only way to change it is to take your attention away from that which seems so real to you and rise in consciousness to that which you desire to be. You cannot serve two masters. Therefore, to take your attention from one state of consciousness and place it upon another is to die to one and live to the other. So you're probably asking yourself, how do I develop this type of high-level attention? Okay, high-level attention. So you think back, okay, how did Neville Goddard do this? Okay, back in Neville Goddard's time, there wasn't social media. There wasn't all this instant gratification, all this entertainment, all these things trying to capture your attention, okay? All of these different things. He was also a vaudeville dancer, which is like a form of yoga in a sense, or ballroom dancing, where you're connecting the mind with the subconscious, constantly holding your attention on the subconscious, on feeling states, moving your body in certain ways, holding them in certain positions and doing certain things like that without any instant gratification in your life. So you got to think, he mastered this art simply by doing these types of things, and also imagining and using his visualization skills, using his affirmations, using the different techniques that he used, creating these things to happen to him and isolating and forming and developing this part of his mind. But the biggest part about this, I believe, which I've experienced because I went to prison for so long, for 8.5 years, and you don't have instant gratification in prison, okay? There is no social media. I mean, they have a phone here and there, but it's nothing like living in the free world, okay? They have one little small TV really high up on the ceiling. You can't even hear it. So you have no form of entertainment. You have to learn to create your own entertainment. You have to learn to be happy. You have to learn to be grateful with nothing, okay? So instant gratification is out of the window. So you have to train your mind. And what do? You read books, you meditate. You do all of these different things in your own imagination, creating your own feeling states, being a creator, and also exercising the body every single day, doing push-ups, doing pull-ups, doing sit-ups, doing squats, doing lunges, all these different things, connecting the mind and the body all day long without instant gratification. These types of things, avoiding, instant gratification, avoiding the social media, all the entertainment, all these different things that are taking your power from you, are stealing and robbing your attention, okay? Because when you're doing this, you're watching this entertainment, you are being consumed. You are a consumer. You're not being a creator because someone else created that. And then you're consuming that content. So then you're falling asleep in that state. The more that you do that, you become less conscious, and your level of being, it can't be molded. It's taking your creative powers away from you. And in no way am I saying that you should go to prison to develop this sort of thing. You need to avoid this at all costs. Okay. You need to take all of that out of your life and start waking up, because that's what happens when you get away from instant gratification. Even pornography, lust is such a low frequency to hold your attention on for long periods of time. You need to get away from all of the instant gratification and start focusing on developing yourself, holding your attention on certain things for long periods of time in your imagination, whatever that may be, counting $100 bills, picturing your bank balance, picturing yourself in a great relationship, picturing yourself with a new physique. All of these things will be manifested, and you're molding your attention. You're developing the muscle of your mind to get you to that next level. And I promise you, if you follow these instructions and you steer away from all of those things, all that entertainment, all that instant gratification, and you move yourself towards development and focusing inwardly on your attention and developing that part of your mind, you're going to be ultra successful. And we are doing 3 live events in the membership community, I Am Neville. And if you come right here to my landing page on my YouTube channel, you will see a tab here. It says join. And if you come down here, you click I Am Neville, and there's a little blue button here that says join. And you will have access to 3 live events with me every single week. It's a live chat. You can ask me any questions that you want. Right now, we're covering the power of awareness. We're going through different testimonials. We're going to cover all sorts of different books and topics. So if you want to join that, you come right to my landing page on my YouTube channel. You click join, go right to I Am Neville. You'll see a blue tab and hit join. All right, guys, I will see you there.